Deepan Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Good day, students. Today we are going to take up the portion of the poetry section, that is the third poem called Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Now, as you see, two of the poems have been already completed for our first formative. We have two more, that is the third poem Keeping Quiet and one more, Thing of Beauty. I am taking up the third one, that is Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Let me talk to you about the poet. Now, Pablo Neruda, he was born in 1904 and lived till 1973. His original name was Ricardo Neftali Reis Basaulto, but this was his pen name, and then he later on made it his legal name. He was a famous Chilean poet and born in the city of Parral, a diplomat, a politician. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. He wrote in green ink, which was said to be a symbol of hope, especially because he was very much into safeguarding environment. His writings are simple, wherein lies their beauty. Originally, his works have been written in Spanish, but later on translated into English. In this poem, Neruda talks about the necessity of introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. The poet feels that some soul searching is needed for us to be at peace with ourselves and others. Now let me recite to you the poem. Now this is a text extract which I have kept here. In your text you will see the poem in this manner arranged. There are around 5 to 6 verses. So now I'll recite to you the poem. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment, without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now, I'll count to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So, this is the poem. Now, I'll explain to you verse-wise, and the explanation has been made a bit simple with these images, and in case you need to go back, you can look at the video and understand the points which I have also given. So let me start. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. At the very start, the poet says, let us all count to 12. 1, 2, 3. So as you keep on counting and you reach to 12, you will suddenly feel that everywhere there is silence. So this is what he appeals the readers to do. The poet asks everyone to count to 12. Now, why does he refer to 12? Because 12 actually means the numbers on the clock. It can also mean that it is the 24 hours in a day, or it might be even the 12 months. So he is actually appealing for us to take a moment and keep quiet in that moment. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. As it is, when you are quiet, you are not going to use any language. When he refers here to language, it means no language whatsoever on the earth. For once on the face of the earth. Face here refers to the entire surface of the earth. You know, we belong to different nations, to different countries, to different continents, and each one of us speak in different languages. So once there will be silence, none of us is going to make any actions or gestures and use any language. So nations in this way will come together and they will unite. Let us not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second. Now here you may feel that it is just 1 second, but actually he is asking you to give little time to pause and think and be quiet. This will bring unity among all the humans on the face of the earth. Now the basic theme of this poem, we'll see it, but the theme of this poem is, poet is asking us to introspect. In this moment of silence, the poet is asking us to look within ourselves, to introspect, which it is very, very difficult for us to do because we are into this mad rush of everyday living. This will make us, when we will introspect and we will know that around us there are many others who also speak different languages. They are like us, but they have different ways of expressing themselves. We will all be united on the face of the earth, we all humans. For at least that one moment, let us not move our arms so much. So here arms, as I said, when we are communicating, we use lot of gestures. Now we might be communicating when we are angry, when we want to express our aggression, our disregard. So we impose, along with the words which we are speaking, we impose a lot of actions on the people. Another way, the poet might also be referring to arms. When we say that we are enemies, no? we share our borders, but then we hate each other because we discriminate. We discriminate on the basis of language, caste, race, creed. And to show that we are more powerful, what we try to do? We use arms. Arms referring here to ammunition in warfare. The next lines, it would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. So it's understood we are now in silence. So this beautiful moment is called exotic moment. Why exotic? Because it's an extraordinary thing. We have never ever experienced it. Exciting and extraordinary moment because there won't be any rush. Everyone will be standstill. Everyone is going to take time out for themselves to just reflect within themselves. You can call it a sort of meditation. Be quiet. So we won't hear any machines moving. We won't hear any engines running. No one will be in a hurry. Only one thing is common, that is we all are together. That's why he says we all will be together in a sudden strangeness. Because we are calm, we are quiet, it looks to be a newfound silence, and it will help us to reflect more into the deep thoughts which we have and also to think about the actions which we take up. It will be strange because this is the first time we are experiencing it. Fishermen, then he refers to the fishermen, he addresses them. All over the world today there is such mad rush to become competitive, to become more commercialized. So these fishermen who actually can get the produce from the sea, which is enough for them, but still they go out deeper and deeper into the sea and they harm the whales. So in the polar regions there are whales which these fishermen go out in the cold sea, and so at this moment when they will be quiet, they will think, why are we going out? It is, the nature has enough for everyone's needs, but not for man's greed. So fishermen in the cold sea should reflect on their actions and see that they don't harm whales. At the same time, he addresses the man who is gathering salt. Because of his everyday activity, he is harming himself. but he does not bother to take time and see how he has hurt himself. So no person who is harming other living beings, who is harming and earning his livelihood without taking time to rest and see what his activities are causing to him, what destruction his activities are causing to him, this moment of silence is going to give them that time which no one has experienced. All the people who are today, like day in and day out, we just get up, the 24 hours when they pass, we do not know. But we are just going behind, no, like a mad rush. Now I just want to tell you about the past 5 months. If you remember from March, in this pandemic, the lockdowns 1, 2, 3, 4, we have faced something called this silence. And we have also tried and found out how we were leading our lives towards the mad activities, accumulating things which are not required. We were not giving time for our families, and also it is a time that we have to be quiet, be silent and reflect on our thoughts and our actions. Now he addresses the people who are the scientists, the politicians, the bureaucrats, and tells them, these are the people who are creating wars. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors. So who are the people who create green wars? It is the builders. Today, for just few more pennies, we are harming our environment. We are degrading, deforestation, building up things which are harming our fields also. The refuse which will go out, the pollution, the effluents which are there in our nature. So he regards them and tells them, do not have wars waged against our environment. Wars with gas. Now wars with gas here refers to the chemicals which are given out when we have a war and we blast things. So air pollution. Wars with fire. So we destroy, we bombard, and there is fire everywhere. But what is the outcome? There is no victory. Everything, someone or the other who is going to win, but who is going to celebrate that victory? Nobody, because victory will have no survivors to celebrate. So he wants that these people should think twice in this moment of silence and see that the harm which they are causing not only to themselves but to the people, to the environment, to the sea, to the air should be stopped. He wants these people who are creating the wars to put on clean clothes. Now why clean clothes? Now clean clothes doesn't mean that just change of clothes, but he is asking them that all this time their clothes have been dirtied, they have been stained with the blood of the people whom they have killed. So now with the new life or new clothes, they should come out in the open and walk with their brothers. Now here brothers refers to entire humanity, brothers from different nations, brothers of different colors, caste, creed, and walk with them in the shade doing nothing, because this is a moment of silence. So you're not expected to move your arms, you're not expected to involve yourself in any activity. Let us move with our brothers in the shade doing nothing. So this is the moment when even your enemy is going to become your brother. So in the end, through this verse, we realize that the poet is trying to promote brotherhood, peace and unity. Now the next verse. Now if you think that he is asking everyone to stop, he reminds us not to confuse yourself with total inactivity. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. So here, total inactivity. What do you mean by total inactivity? Everything stands still. It might even reflect death. Now when is it that we don't do anything? It is only when we go to sleep, but still, mentally we are thinking, we are dreaming, consciously we are awake. So I don't want anything to be confused with total inactivity. because he does not propagate what we say death. What he wants is just to stand still, meditate and reflect into the actions of ours. Life is what it is about. Now life is an ongoing process. Life ends only when we leave the world. So life is what it is about. It is thing which we have to live every day. I don't want any truck with death. Don't think that I am trying to tell that see everything should end on this world. Let us all finish humanity. No. He says let us pause. Let us think with a new angle, with a new life, that see this total inactivity which we are involved in should not be confused with death. I don't want any association with death. If we were, next verse, if we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving. So see, we have, all of us are very focused, we are very determined for whatever goals or whatever targets we have to meet. So he says, if at this moment we think that we are not that single-minded and keep our lives moving, if we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. So if we are not that single-minded and focused about keeping our lives moving, and for once could perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness. So this huge silence which we have just now, we are experiencing, it might interrupt this sadness of never understanding. This is that, see, we never take time out to think or even try and understand ourselves. We know we are doing many wrong things. We need to correct ourselves. We have to give somewhere a pause, a break. But we never do that because we are after completing our lives. And he says that that's why man feels threatened. He knows that one life he is having. Soon he is going to die. And in that he keeps on moving very fast in a rush and does not realize that his life is ending towards destruction. So perhaps this might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. So what he wants us is, find out what is the purpose of your life. Maybe in this little moment of silence, we are all going to go back to what was our past, go back when all of us were living in as one human being, as one brotherhood all over the nations. But today, for egos, for showing our power and all, we are trying to fight with each other. And then at the last verse, a very meaningful one, the most beautiful one in this poem. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. All of us consider Mother Earth or Mother Nature as the biggest teacher. And Earth, if you look at it, it remains silent. But then there is a lot of activity going on. Perhaps the Earth can teach us. Look at Earth. It is giving us this lesson that when everything seems dead, there is later on life. So looking at the Earth, especially if you see the winter season, you see everywhere there is snowfall, nothing is moving, there are no birds visiting and all, and you feel that everything in the nature is dead. But it is not so. As soon as spring comes, you see seeds which were dormant, they start sprouting. So in those months of winter, they are spreading their roots and they are ready to, with the first sunshine, they are ready to sprout. So everything which appears to be dead, it later proves to be alive. Similarly, in our lives, today you might think with this total inactivity which you are considering death, everything has come to an end. No. But from that, a new awakening will come to us, which will teach us to live with our human brothers and all those whom we share this earth with a better perspective. And then the last two lines, what he started the poem with, now I will count to 12, he says, and you keep quiet and I will go. I will count to 12 because I have made you count earlier so that you remain still. But now I know that you have started thinking, you are enjoying this silence, and I have carried this message to you of universal brotherhood and peace. So now let me count to 12 and I will pass on this message to some other place. So I hope the poem has been very clear and all have understood. Yes, so that's the explanation of the poem. Now, as I have been referring here, for you, it will help you to answer your exam questions. That's why the theme is given here. The poet is talking about, through this poem, through these lines, he is talking about the necessity of quiet introspection and create a feeling of understanding, mutual understanding among humans. He urges the people of the earth to stop all activities and remain silent for a few moments. Now, as we have gone through the poem, you know that these moments of inactivity will bind us together with the cord of silence, and this language silence is now understood by all of us. Instead of all those languages which we do not understand, we condemn, we demean and all, today we know only one language, that is of silence. Now, the other thing which he is also trying to appeal to man through this poem is to have a mutual understanding among all the people of the earth, and as it is, he is also wanting that we should have a good regard for the nature around us. Now, the very important topic in the poems is the figures of speech. So, I have written down these, I will explain now. These are a few figures of speech which appear regularly in a question paper, in the board question paper. So, we have lot of instances of alliteration figure of speech. So, I have just noted down the different words on different lines in the verses. The first one is, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. Now, this is alliteration. Why is it alliteration? I have underlined the words. You can see the w sound, we will. This is the w consonantal sound, and when a consonantal sound is repeated, it is alliteration. Then the other lines we have, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness. S. So, s consonantal sound and w consonantal sound is repeated. His hurt hands. You know, man will look at the man gathering salt will look at his hurt hands. So, her consonantal sound is repeated pleasantly. The man will wear clean clothes. The men, you know, the brothers all walking together, they will wear clean clothes. So, cl. This is also a consonantal sound. So, it is an example of alliteration. And the second figure of speech is repetition. Now, in repetition, instead of a consonantal sound, we have the words which are being repeated. Repetition, without rush, without engines, was with gas, was with fire. So, without and was is repeated to have the poetic effect. Then we have personification. The third figure of speech is personification. Perhaps the earth can teach us. You know, earth is an inanimate being. It is personified and it is given the quality of teaching. Then we have euphemism. Now, this might be a new figure of speech for you. Euphemism. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Now, euphemism is a figure of speech where, you know, for a very harsh or a harsh term, or which is a term which we do not want to take, we use it with a milder term which is agreeable in nature. So, instead of mentioning total inactivity as death, he says that it is total inactivity. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. So, here the idea of death is expressed in an agreeable manner. And the last one is antithesis. So in the last lines, as you see in the poem also, earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. So here both the words dead and alive are opposite to each other. So when two opposite words, dead and alive, occur together or come on the same sentence, that is a figure of speech, antithesis. So I hope these figures of speech have been clearly understood. Now over the years from the board papers also, these are few of the questions which you need to stress. So these are the important questions which I have put up here, and there are a few points to write those answers. These are not, don't consider that these answers, these points are the whole answer. You can elaborate them. So the important questions are, what will counting up to 12 and keeping still achieve? So you know, when you count up to 12, that moment is going to be an exotic moment, and it will be having lot of silence and stillness around. So in that moment of silence, it will create a strong sense of peace and brotherhood for humanity. What is the exotic moment the poet speaks about? It will be an exotic moment, he says. What will be the exotic moment? When everybody remains silent and suspends all the activities, man will experience lot of peace and tranquility, and he will realize that we all are one. So he's mentioning that there will be a feeling of universal brotherhood and achieving peace. The next one, how would man benefit if people did not speak in any language? Yes. So when man does not speak in any language, there is one language right now he is understanding, and that is of silence. So here actually he is talking about live and let live. Everyone has a freedom to live as he wants, and most important it is, man considers himself to be a super being. That doesn't mean he can harm the nature, the environment. So all discrimination will be wiped out when man will not speak in any language, and the world will be a beautiful place to live, and there will be peace. The next question, what does the poet mean by victory with no survivors? As you know, he was saying that there are lots of wars around, and everyone is trying to show their power and their supremacy on the other nation. But what is the end result of a war? Everything is destroyed. There is no human life, there is even the nature destroys. That's why he says, remember, war has nothing to benefit. The outcome of war is no survivors. So modern warfare, there might be a victory, but who is there to celebrate the victory? No one. So everything will be destroyed. So we don't have to think in those terms. Now the fifth question, what is the sadness that the poet refers to in the poem? The poet refers to the sadness that man does not understand when he is in this mad rush, living his life day in and day out. He is harming himself, and is also harming and destroying all others around him, the environment, the people. So he says this is a tragedy because we have never taken time out to understand what is the danger of this mad rush which we are facing. So he wants us to be very to be aware of the mindless activities, the futile activities which we are threatening our existence with, the futile activities which are destroying us. Now, do you think the poet advocates total inactivity and death? So as in the explanation it was told, he doesn't want total inactivity to be referred to as death. So no, he does not want to be confused. He does not want you to confuse himself as total inactivity meaning death. So he does not want to misunderstand him. He advocates ending these mindless and hostile human activities which are actually a threat to our own existence, endangering our existence. Instead, he wants us to reflect deep within, self-introspect, and stop all kinds of destruction and warfare and live as one community, as one word we can call that is brotherhood. And the last one, a very important one again, what can the earth teach us? See, if we look at the earth, earth remains still, and as the changes we see on the earth, we feel that earth is alive or earth is dead. But there is a very, very deep rooted meaning, lesson of preserving and giving life. Earth is teaching us this lesson. The poet is using this symbol of earth to say that under the apparent stillness there is life, life going on. Though there is no growth on the surface of the earth, as I said, I have given you the example of winter, you don't see anything around, there is no life, and you think that the whole nature is dead. But actually below, new life is being formed, like a seed which is spreading its roots under the soil, waiting to sprout in the spring. So I hope this poem is going to teach us a new meaning of life, and it is going to make us realize that, see, it is not important to live your life just because you are born on this world. Instead, we have to correct our ways and reflect and deeply think and take time out where our activities are leading us to. So, I come to the end of this poem. Thank you.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.